If you are just joining us, you are listening to the Ponies at Dawn Fusion album release. And we are just over the halfway mark at number 31 with Colossu and Sonic Breakbeat with their song Kingdoms Past. And this was a fantastic drum and bass song. And in case you weren't aware, Colossu is the new name for the artist formerly known as Age of Vinyl.
And what a showing this track is. I absolutely love the dark and intricate sort of intro we get here. It reminds me a lot of Hatcher's stuff, where you get this like really sort of like dark focus on really intense sounding piano, that when we get to that big upheaval in the drop, we get this like big juxtaposition of those really gritty basses and the fast, tight, punchy drums. It gives this whole track this really sort of like evil tone that I love a lot.
Yeah, they've really composed something great with the drum, as well as contributing to that gritty feel at times as well. And then after that was 12 and Awkward's track, Hey Brownie, and this was just a great step dub song.
Oh, absolutely. I love the sound we get here. The really like focused sort of like wonky nature we get of this track is really, really, really fun. The sound design, especially here, is really intense, and it gives me this sort of like feeling that the whole track is sort of just like off kilter the entire time. I really love these songs that focus on one or two really tight bass sounds and then just have like a really intense feeling throughout them. And this track really does, while still feeling just a little bit lazy.
Oh yeah, it really, really, really leans heavily into that deep, deep bass, and it just gets straight into your brain, and I love it. Anyway, coming up next, we have Spitfire and Blinky with their song Sirened.
And then after that is Twilight Wonder with their track Moonslayer, featuring Namima.
sleep while I'm wide awake.
At song number 33, we had Spitfire and Blinky bringing you their track Siren, which was an absolute banger of a bass house song.
Oh, absolutely. I love the sort of like inspirations that lie behind this song. You get so much more of the like sort of bouncy nature of Future Bounce that you're used to hearing, but so much more of it is focused on a deeper sort of like darker sound that really gives it that bass house feeling. I love how punchy and fun this feels. We get those little vocal cuts of Pinky throughout that I love a lot. The whole track really has this sort of like intricate and unique sound to it.
Yeah, I couldn't help but bop along to it because it's just so catchy as well. And like you said, those vocal chops with Pinky in there, just icing on the cake. And then after that was Twilight Wonder with their song Moonslayer featuring Namima. And again, this was a pre-release song, and after hearing it again, you can absolutely see why.
Oh, this track really fills me with a lot of old school love. It reminds me a lot of the older dubstep stylings that we're so used to hearing, you know, nearly 10, maybe even 15 years ago at this point. Oh, I'm old. But anyway, the sound design here is what I love the most. There's a lot of focus on these more sort of like singular sounds. We get a lot of those modern talking basses as well, which are both like a nod back to times long gone, but still also ever present in sound design for modern dubstep.
Yeah, and even the vocal parts just shine here as well. Namima's done an amazing job, and just the overall composition as well. They all complement each other. The sounds, the music, and the vocals. Anyway, coming up next, we have Red Pony and Sky Shard with their song Generative Harmony.
And then Full Speech by Haiti and 12.
This is the first record I've made under my own name, and the first one I've made under my own control entirely, without anyone else telling me what to do in certain places. Some of the stuff I like very much, some of the stuff I quite like, and I don't hate any of it, so I've settled for this music. I can't decide which piece to start with, so I won't start with any of the pieces I've already started. I hope you like what you hear.
Oh, goodness. Are you okay? Are you coughing because there's a carrot stuck in your throat? Because you need some water?
At song number 35 was the hybrid neurofunk track by Red Pony and Skyshard, and it was called Generative Harmony.
And what a fantastic track this was. I really love the sort of like focus on the cyberpunk sound design here. We get that really intense main sound right off the bat. And it just adds so much to this track to have so much of that sort of like focus, sort of futuristic sound here. Combined with the name, Generative Harmony, potentially a play off of a term we might all be a little too used to at this point, generative AI, where we're sort of like talking about this like techno-punk future where everything is a little bit darker, a little bit more gritty, and a little bit more fantastical.
Yeah, and one thing to note here is the pacing. Sometimes it's really fast and in your face, and other times it's just taking a little side street, just, relaxing a bit before hitting you in the face again. So they've done an absolutely brilliant job, and I love it. And after that was Haiti and 12's song, Full Speech. And this was a wonderful drum and bass song.
Absolutely. We really get that roller feeling here that Haiti does a lot of. And I love 12's input here. There's so much of this song that feels like it's so uniquely the both of them, where we have those really like sort of like repetitive, focused, like fantastic sounding drum loops combined with those like interestingly pitched vocal hooks that we get throughout. And then we've got that really deep sort of like focused sub bass that keeps the whole groove together.
Yeah, and just a little story about how this song came about. As a birthday gift, Haiti actually gave 12 their old MPC, and so in order to learn how to use it, they decided to make this track together, and hence it was born. And that's why it sounds so amazing, and I hope to see more of what 12 can do with that MPC. Anyway, coming up next, we have Jensen Styles and Namima with their song Opal Rain featuring the One Galen.
And then Pads and Single Purpose bring us Lunar Tides.
And after that is a Faulty, Jensen Styles, and Spot with their song Abstraction.
Hey everyone, this is Jensen Styles. Thank you all for being here. If you'll permit me, I'd like to get serious for a moment and talk about something personal. I recently lost my mom to cancer. Now, this song is not about her. It never was, and it still isn't. But the song was roughly 85% complete when she passed, and in the final days I was working on it, I can say that I absolutely threw all of what I was feeling into that last 15%, and I'd like to think it shows. Please, for me, before the song is over, tell your mom or someone else who helped get you this far that you love them. Thank you.
Hey, this is Namima. The theme of the track was about finding the intense desire to, fly away from the daily struggles and just like leaving it behind. So I found a lot of inspiration in my friends, and the song ended up being about self-truth, purity, transformation, and friendship. So thank you for holding the mirror for me. This will be Opal Rain.
just run away to look back. Wash me just run away to look back. Wash me down on me.
Hey, this is SP.
And this is Pats. It's time for another liquid collab.
Enjoy our tune, Lunar Tides.
At song number 37 in our trio of songs was Jensen Styles and Namima's song Opal Rain, and that was featuring the One Galen. And oh boy, I love this one. It was just such a smooth and easy to listen to liquid drum and bass track.
Oh yeah, and the liquid here is really what the focus is here. We get so much of that like beautiful sounding sort of gorgeous dynamics in the intro. Namima's really like putting in the effort with those like floating sort of like introspective lyrics and vocal performance over that intro. And then by the time we get to the section where we're all expecting that sort of like intense drum and bass feeling, we get that like really beautiful sounding drum loop that really like accentuates the sort of like floating guitar sounds that we have throughout.
Yeah, and the song is at over 6 minutes long, at one of the longer songs on the album, but it really doesn't feel like it because you just get so much into the groove that before you know it, the song's already over. Anyway, after that was Pads and Single Purposes song Lunar Tides, and this was yet another liquid drum and bass, but it still sounds so different from that other one though.
Those gorgeous pads in the intro are really something you can sort of like lay within, imagining yourself floating between different parts of the ocean, just sort of like quietly resting on top of the tension of the water below you. It gives so much to this song to have such like a quiet moment in the track that when we get to the sort of like repetitive, sort of hypnotic almost main section of the song, you're sort of already in that tranquil experience. And so you just let yourself drift along with it.
Yeah, it is definitely one to just be experienced in that you just close your eyes, listen to it, and just lose yourself in its feeling and its movement. And then rounding off the trio was Faulty, Jensen Styles, and Spot's song Abstraction. And this, even though it's another drum and bass one, this was more of a hardcore drum and bass song.
Yeah, it still has those like liquid sounding feelings to them throughout, but I feel like it lends itself a little bit more to the less hypnotic and more sort of like ethereal experimental sound of liquid drum and bass, where you've got a little bit of a tighter drum loop, a little bit of a stronger sounding like rhythm section, with just like a much stronger sort of like feeling hitter of the first drop, where you're sort of a little more focused, a little more into it. And then we get to that absolutely massive hardcore section of the second drop, and suddenly everything that you were like sort of like drifting along with is thrown out of the window as you're sort of like pulsing along with this really intense sounding second half.
Definitely. It's a lot less lose yourself and a lot more punchy in your face hardcore sounds in there. And I think that wants to just get you moving and kind of wake you up a bit. Anyway, coming up, we have Love Cookies, Color Glint, and BG Pon 0414 with their song Ponsona, No More Disguise.
And then Faulty makes another return along with John Kenza and Koa to bring us Another Realm.
Pictures of my brothers, but everybody know about me.
Well, folks, you've been listening to the Ponies at Dawn Fusion album release, and the time has come. If you haven't already done so, go to the link poniesatdawn.bandcamp.com because the Fusion album is now available for you to download.
Yes, make sure you go along, and remember that the album is pay what you want. So if you'd like to support the lovely artists who help make this album a possibility, you can put in anything you want. But if you're a little strapped for cash, or perhaps you're not quite ready to spend that much money on an album, you can always just put in $0 and download it for free.
And any money that does go towards the album goes to the musicians and lovely people that have put their time and effort into making this. So your money is greatly appreciated to all the musicians to whom it goes.
And the first song that we just heard before our little announcement was by Love Cookies, Color Glint, and BG Pon 0414, and it was called Ponsona, No More Disguise.
Oh yeah, and this was a electronic hyper-pop speed house hard style mishmash of, well, everything. And even though it doesn't sound like it would work, oh my gosh, it was such a good song and I loved vibing out to it.
Yeah, I really love how they've really captured every single one of those genres throughout the song, even though at times it feels a little bit like you're more listening to like a preview for an EP of some kind. The whole thing is really cohesive in some fantastic ways. We've got a great vocal performance, and throughout, all of the sound design really lends itself towards those different sections. Absolutely love it.
Definitely. And then after that was the return of Faulty again, and John Kenza and Koa with their song Another Realm.
And this is one of those songs that is just absolutely dance, like, you know, throw yourself at the wall and let everything out. This is one of those songs that you've got your hands up, you're absolutely losing yourself to the track the entire time. Fantastic chords, fantastic vocal performance from Koa. The whole track just gives you this upbeat, energetic, perfect vibe.
Absolutely. This was get on the dance floor, throw your hands up, vibe out, and dance the night away. So good, and so much upbeat. I loved it. Well done to those three. And after this, we've got Ice Angel and Saddam with their track See the Light, and that's featuring Vanessa Rinjani.
And then Melody Brony, Thrak, and Koa bring us Geode Heart, the Silver and Faulty remix.
Do you ever feel like you have been walking in the darkness, hoping for the light but not coming yet? I guess we have been through times like this, but we shouldn't stop if we want to find a way out. Well, that's just a story for another time, because we won't dive any further. Now, here we are in Ponies at Dawn Fusion. Let's leave 2025 and open up 2026 with the hope that we can find our own light in the darkness. それでは聞いてください。See the light.
The city sleeps, but I can't close my eyes. The neon hum keeps me paralyzed. I chase the ghosts of who I used to be. I lost in the mirror, I can't find me. My thoughts collide like racing waves. I wear a smile I cannot save. The night consumes the truth I hide. 1,000 tears I've left inside. Every night I'm fighting silence. Dreams collapse in quiet violence. Can you hear my heart breaking slow? In the dark I'm all alone. I'm falling deeper into the unknown. No one to catch me, I'm on my own. But I shall see the light inside. A hickory of hope is waiting for me. The sky turns gray, I lose the light again. Another day just feels the same. But deep inside, a spark begins to glow. A voice that says, please don't give up. I take one step into the light in the darkness, I feel lonely no more. I see the light in the darkness, I feel some hope inside. I see the light in the darkness, my path is clear. I see the light in the darkness, my life is now complete. Every night I'm finding silence, dreams collapse in quiet violence. Can you hear my heart breaking slow? In the dark I'm all alone. I'm falling deeper into the unknown. No one to catch me, I'm on my own. But I'm sure I'll see the light inside. A hickory of hope is waiting for me. Never thought I'd ever see this side of me. Lime's in the name, but I'm not one for turning green. But now pink and mean as cheese up, moths in the sticks. Don't get me started on what marble is coming to terms with. I'm left to kick with the rocks alone. Guess you could say that love just skipped a stone. But here you are with a hint of what if. I've got a geode heart, can you open me up? I'm covered in edges, sorry if you get cut. And I'm running out of words to say now. Got a couple bolts to break down, 'cause I've got a geode heart, a geode heart. Maybe you can open me up. It's not like I'm trying to push you away. It's just that I don't typically like most parties anyway. It's impractical and paradoxical to want to be in love without letting you in. But if you got the time, it could be worth a try. Just take the hammer and swing it. I think I'm just afraid that I'll lose a single shot of who I am. I don't wanna change, I can only hope that you might understand. I'm rough and sharp, abrasive. Do you think that you can take it? Do you think that we can make this last?
And that first upbeat song we heard was by Ice Angel and Saddam, and it was called See the Light, featuring Vanessa Rinjani.
And what an upbeat song it was. There is a massive grin on my face as soon as I start hearing this track. Vocal performance here is absolutely fantastic. We get that bubbly, poppy vibe from Vanessa that really adds to the sort of just like general sort of absolutely soaring feeling that this whole song encompasses.
Yeah, it's a truly inspirational song and such an upbeat vibe. Even the lyrics, like, I see the light in the darkness, I feel lonely no more. I see the light in the darkness, my life is now complete. You just can't help but feel inspired, feel happy, and just encouraged for the rest of the outlook. And it's just a brilliant song. I love it. And then after that is the Silver and Faulty remix of Melody Brony, Thrack, and Coda's song, Geode Heart. Now, this original one came out during the Survivors Ponies at Dawn album, which was in 2024. And so this is the remix of that one. So it sounds, completely different from that.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like we've given this a really new sort of light with this remix. There's so much in here to love from the original and so much new. I love the sort of like grungy sounding drops themselves. There's this real focus on this like deep, gritty sort of like yowling bass sound underneath these like pumping drums that keep the same level of energy throughout. And then we get in the second drop, we get that big sort of uplifting, hands up sounding chorus section with that massive lead that I love.
Yeah, they've really turned up the energy on this one over the original, and it shows how much love and care has gone into just making it harder, making it faster, and just making it all out amazing. I love it. Anyway, coming up next, we've got Riroko and Grit with their song, The Heart's Fighting For You.
And then another mega collab with Funkship Express, Sunshine Funkshine.
Good morning, Ponyville! It's your favorite DJ, the sexy Sax Necko, here to deliver the good funk on Ponies at dawn. Today we hit you with a brand new Funkship Express song that will surely derail you with thoughts of love and groove. We hope you too can clap your hooves and do a little shake with their tune, Sunshine Funkshine.
At song number 44, we had the rock song, Riroko and Grit, and their track, The Heart's Fighting For You. And I just love how the rock just enhances the overall vibe and the overall song itself.
Oh, absolutely. We get those gorgeous detuned gritty guitars, and that section towards the second half where we fall down into halftime and we really sit within the song. I love it so much. There's so much effort put in here, and I love the sort of mixing between the traditional stylings of instruments and this like massive detuned guitar.
Oh yeah, a definite headbanger. And then after that was the Funk Ship Express with their song Sunshine Funkshine, and this is an absolutely massive list of people that were involved in this one. It is Blue Brony on lead vocals and organ, L Train on guitar and percussion, Luckrock also on guitar, Osoch on bass guitar, Pegasus on drums, Deontay George on alto and tenor sax, and Sax Nico on alto sax. And they've all just come together to create this amazing song that everyone just enjoyed.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like when you get so many talented musicians together for a song, you're absolutely bound to come up with not only something that's fantastic to listen to, but also just a little bit fun, just a little bit weird. It feels like there's an infectious energy in this song that you can just tell right from the get-go. There's something a little funky going on.
Yeah, this funk music will absolutely be stuck in my head long after the album's over. And coming up, we have Brony Mike and Forever Free Brony with their song Celestia for Another.
And then Voodoo Pup and Dangerous Moonlight bring us Barrel Full of Hay.
Hey everybody, Brony Mike here.
Sorry. I went on a hiatus for a while, but the fandom gummy's soaring back, bolder and braver than ever. So I call up Forever Free Brony, filling me in about what I'm stitching together. Takes to his help, I think we spit fire. Great to be back seeing you all. I'll wish us all a warm December, a Merry Christmas, and you'll hopefully see me next year. I tell you, tending bar, I've heard some pony tales of woe. One night, this trot fella wanders up all sadly. Oh, he crying because someone stole the gallop from under him on his wedding day. Now his bride'll never be, and he just can't erase her from his mind. Well, I understand, Barry, but now your lovely gal is gone. Till you're not quite so sad to sell a silver stream of cheer. A smoldering cheese sandwich will get Gabby until dawn. Sunset yourself on down and sunburst out those misty tears. Oh, Celestia for another, and you're all alone again. You thought she may have married you, but she had to wreck your heart. You feel enormous sorrow for the fool that you have been. Your stallion love, if only you could get another start. You better believe I know this ain't some old granny's myth. She fluttered shining arm around some gilded flim-flam man. That broken flurry heart you simply can't survive with. Those big bulk biceps macking up to garble all your plans. Starlightly with the story of the nasty tricks he'll play. He barely says a pimp and she just zips right to his side. Sprouted up to pinky part your whole life on that day. Sunny rarities to going, is he hitching her a ride? Oh, Celestia for another, and you're all alone again. She ought to be ashamed, she drove a spike into your heart. You feel enormous sorrow for the fool that you have been. Your stallion love, if only you could get another start. So flirtily, he comes and tempers her to flee. Your sweetie belting out the chorus to his favorite tune. A wallflower daring doobie, oh, lean up to me. And now this nightmare's got you howling discord at the moon. sigh cheerily, my voice a little hoarse. I hear the vinyl scratch as I grab 4 mile deck of cards. The embers in the bonfire dwindle like remorse. Lotus, forget Alabama, that pirate ain't too hard. Apple jacks and aces out to scoot a losing pair. The cozy glow of twilight sparkles deep within your eye. Apple blooming flowers out, stick 'em in your hair. We share a kiss and rainbows dash across the evening sky. So celestial for some fancy pants, you're not a loon again. Who cares if she would marry if she was twisted from the start? Chin up, don't feel embarrassed, not the fool you might have been. This stallion love can warm up all the coldness in your heart. This stallion love will warm up all the coldness of your heart.
My love's like a barrel full of hate. A loving trough I kept topped off from the very first day. My love's like a bushel of sweet fruit. But that love of yours is just a core with no apple left to chew. Put your ear up to my barrel, you'll hear a beating heart. But honey, your barrel's got nothing to lose and it's tearing me apart. Honey, your barrel's got nothing to lose and it's tearing me apart. My love's a drink of water, plenty cool and clear. But you ain't had no taste for water for going on 7 years. Now I enjoy my cider, had too much a time or two. But if you can never get your fill, then I've had enough of you. Put your ear up to my barrel, you hear a beating heart. But honey, your barrel's got nothing to lose and it's tearing me apart. Honey, you're a barrel with nothing to lose and it's tearing me apart. Well, I heard all your excuses, and I've taken it so far. But I reckon I'm gonna blow a fuse if I don't feel a spark. Now this country girl ain't fragile, but I've carried you too far. It's time for me to cut you loose and kick you out the door. Put your ear up to my barrel, it's the last you'll hear my heart. Cause honey, your barrel's got nothing to lose and it's tearing me apart. Get your ear off of my barrel, you don't deserve my heart. I'm tossing my bags onto the saddle and I'm tearing us apart. I'm tossing my bags onto the saddle and I'm tearing us apart.
At song number 46, that was Brony Mike and Forever Free Brony with their song Celestia for Another. Now, I gotta preface this one with some love because this was a pun-filled, absolute wondrous song. It was inspired by the comedy song I Lobster Never Flounder, and the wordplay in this track involves 64 character names from MLP in Gen 4 and Gen 5. The guitar flourishes include 12 references to MLP songs as well. This was just a fantastic bluegrass song, as well as being a testament to comedy genius.
I feel like when you make a song that is so much of a love letter to something, it's hard not to just love it innately. There's so much in here that feels like it was made with the express intent of saying thank you for everything you've experienced, while still showing that not only has it contributed to the things that you're making, but it's made you better at those things as well. And I think that Forever Free and Brony Mike here are just providing this just absolutely gorgeous track for us all to be like, thank you.
Yes, it was definitely a love letter and not a punishment. Get it? Get it? Yeah. Anyway, after that was Voodoo Pup's track Barrel Full of Hay, featuring Dangerous Moonlight. And this was, a 50s country song that was just gorgeous to listen to.
Oh yeah, I absolutely can imagine pulling the whole family around with the wireless just to listen to this and have a little bit of a dance while you're all sort of like reminiscing on life together. There's so much in here that is just gorgeous. I love the instrumental especially, and I really like the processing that's been put on the vocals that remind me a lot more of those like live sounding vocals that we hear a lot of from that time period.
And this song lyrically is an extension of the apple chord gag Applejack did in episode 200. So that is a reference to where it's from. Musically, it is a take on the 50s country song where you would sit around the wireless, and takes a lot of inspiration from the classics like Johnny Cash. So yeah, it's a fantastic tribute to both My Little Pony and that era of country music.
Coming up next, we've got Soren Ember's song, My Fault. And that one's with Koa.
I thought I told you to turn it down. I'm trying to get some rest. I spilled my wine on sheet music while you were throwing a fit. Your perfect mixtape sitting, still broken on the floor. But I can't turn back the time. You've heard it all before. I can barely lift my boat with your rhythm on my mind. I want things to be like before. Please won't you give me a sign?
We're magnets with the same charge, a symphony that's falling apart. I'm skipping like a scratched up groove for everything I have left to lose. So go on, go on, go on, just go away. No way, no way, no way, you have to stay. I know, I know, I know, I lay the song. I know, I know, I know, it's all my fault.
I can't seem to take a breath. No surprise that I can't sleep. The air is getting way too thick. My apologies tasted cheap. I put our fractured photos up. They haunt me every night. I break my strength to pull you back again. I didn't put up enough of a fight. The living room feels dead and cold. You've long since moved on. Your corner screams in silence now that you're gone.
We're magnets with the same charge, a symphony that's falling apart. I'm skipping like a scratched up groove for everything I have left to lose. So go on, go on, go on, just go away. No way, no way, no way, you have to stay. I know, I know, I know, I lay the song. I know, I know, I know, it's all my fault.
Sorry that I treated you this way. So my fault. I'm sorry that I treated you this way.
Magnets with the same damn charge, a symphony that's falling apart. I'm skipping like a scratched out groove for everything I have left to lose. So go on, go on, go on, just go away. No way, no way, no way, you have to stay. I know, I know, I know, I played the song. I know, I know, I know, it's all my fault.
And that was the slightly somber sounding song by Soren Ember and Koa, and it was called My Fault. And this was just, melancholic at times. It was a gorgeous alt rock song.
Absolutely. I feel like we get a good mix here between that sort of like almost rock ballady at times, but sort of more focused on that, alt rock sound. It reminds me a lot of listening to artists like Paramore and stuff like that. Those early 2000s, like focused sort of rock sounds that never really like push too far outside of the message that they're trying to send here. I think both artists here have done a fantastic vocal work, and the backing track especially gives a lot to that melancholic sound.
Yeah, and even though it does have that sadness about it, it's still just a joy to listen to. Anyway, coming up we have For College and G&G with their song Advil.
And at track number 50, Feather with their track Near, featuring Rhyme Flow.
Here we go again, we're back from the dust. Too dark to tell, but it was a must. Although the thoughts prevail, I'll take this pill to calm me down. Do I really want to replace the sight of you just standing there when you go and close your door? At your roof. I'll wake up when I see you in my recurring dreams to exercise my crazy delusion that fades when I take this pill. Do I really want to replace the sight of you just standing there when you go and close your door? I'll be at your roof.
What's the use? What's the way ahead when I can't even get out of bed? When the end is the start and the beating of my heart is all but gone away. What's the use? Catch full inside.
cause I am truly confused. I refuse to accept that you ran out of juice. Out of bed, buddy, you gotta get out of your head, buddy. If you ain't productive with me, prepare for headbutting. I gotta practice, you gotta set up your track list. You better eat your breakfast fast, because the fact is, the only way to get out of this funk through your music. It infuses you right over the hump until you're through it. So let's do it. I'ma do my strings, you get to spin it. In a minute, you'll get back into the groove once you're in it. My opinion is you're only in this rut to a limit. If you get kinetic with your set, trust you'll commit it. I'll admit, there can be times you just ain't feeling it. You're dealing with a real heavyweight